Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. All right, here in Houma, behind Thomasy Shipyards, the parish president, along with state officials and other local officials, have gathered here. This is the first. I don't know if we've ever had a destroyer of sorts come into Houma for repair. And this is a World War II ship, and certainly is getting a lot of attention on our Facebook and YouTube links that we've sent out. We're getting a lot of people interested in this. It just goes to show you these still garner a lot of attention, and actually the history behind this ship is quite interesting. So without further ado, let's listen in as the parish president is ready to greet everybody. Along, we have the Marine Corps League here. Beautiful day in Terrebonne Parish to repair and pay tribute to those who paved the way for us right here in America and in Houma.
All right, good morning. I want to welcome everybody to this historic event, Terrebonne Parish. We'll be working on a naval vessel, so we're gonna get things kicked off with a Pledge of Allegiance. Then I'm handing it over to the Marine Corps League for their presentation, and then myself, them, and Bill will say a few words along with anybody else. So if y'all are ready, we're ready to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Detail, preset, ho! I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hand it over to Senior Vice Commandant Glenn Ward. Order, ho! Detail, attack, hoof! Honor guard! Harry, follow! Forward! March! Present, up! Detail! Order! Out! So I talked about earlier, it's a historic day. It's truly amazing when you look at a company in Houma, Louisiana, Thomasy bringing in some history, a situation where they're diversifying their economy, which diversifies our economy. And so I think it's truly amazing. Doing a little research on the USS Kidd, it is one of 4 and the only one in its current configuration of being still in a World War II configuration. Named after Isaac Kidd, who was the first admiral killed in action in Pearl Harbor on the USS Arizona. And so I know we have some council members here and some other people that have served in the military, and I want to thank all of our veterans, all our active military, those that have passed, that have allowed us to get where we are today and allows us to do the things we do and live in the greatest country in the world. And our freedom is not free. And so I think it's amazing that we have this opportunity to do this work and to restore such a vibrant part of our military history, our museum, a museum that's a great museum that's in Baton Rouge on a regular basis. And so I really want to commend Thomasy for getting this work here and allowing us to have this opportunity. The Marine Corps, local Marine Corps group, for putting together this event and for everybody being here today. And so with that being said, I'm gonna bring up John Amity, our council chair, unbeknownst to him, to say a few words. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. First I want to congratulate Thomasy for having the resources here in Houma to be able to take on such a project. They build many great ships, but I think this is a first for you guys, and it's truly an honor to have this work going on in the city of Houma. Recently, Beryl and I was able to check off something on my bucket list, and that was to visit the Arizona Memorial. It's something I always wanted to do. We also had the pleasure of touring the Missouri, which is another great battleship, and then the Bowfin, which is a great submarine. So again, like President Bergeron says, it's truly an exciting event. I've been on the Kidd in Baton Rouge many times, but I can tell you, standing here next to it's so much larger than sitting up in Baton Rouge on the river when you can get this close to it and see the magnificent structure of it. So again, thank you to everybody for coming out, and we look forward to seeing the outcome of it.
Sure. And so we do have a few veterans, Mr. Danny Babin, Mr. Carly Harding, Mr. Mark Black, that are all with Terrebonne Parish Solidarity Government. And I don't know if you guys would like to say a word. All right. With that being said, I'd like to bring up Bill Purvis with Thomasy, let him talk a few things about the project. He's the one that actually helped get the vessel down here to Houma. So, Mr. Purvis.
Thank you, sir. Hey, good morning, everybody. I want to take a moment and just thank the council members of Terrebonne Parish, current and present, the past parish president, the current parish president, for their commitment and dedication to this port. Without this port, this wouldn't be happening today. None of us would be standing here. I've had the pleasure of crawling in this vessel the last few weeks as we were getting it off the cradles. And like I said, I've been deep inside the bowels of this vessel. And when you think about the 17, 18, 19, and 20-year-old young men who served on this thing during World War II and the conditions they lived in, this is probably the greatest honor of my life, being involved in this project. Have a gentleman over here by the name of Walter Sons, and when they first contacted him, he bought it to him and we started talking about it, and he's instrumental in getting this project awarded to us. He's the only man at Thomasy Marine Constructors who's going to be knowing what he's doing for the next year. The rest of us, we got other projects to do, but this is his baby. There's going to be some configuration back to the original World War II configuration of the vessel, and we're just excited about it. We're excited what it means for this community. This has put the Port of Terrebonne and the town of Houma, the Terrebonne Parish, on the national map. I got up this morning, when the Channel 3 News out of Lafayette was running a big article on it, and people are excited about this. All our veterans who have served are standing right here. Mr. T-Pop over there that I just found out today is a mentor of Mr. Walter Thomasy. I see him turning his head over there. But I thank everybody. I just thank the the museum for giving Thomasy the trust and the honor to do this job. And that's pretty much all I have to say right now, but we're just excited about it and what it means for our community. Mr. President?
Thank you, sir. I'd like to call up Mr. Ward with the Marine Corps League, say a few words about what this means to them.
Good morning, everyone. We're just honored to be here as Detachment 475, the Marine Corps League, and our Ladies Auxiliary are here also this morning. And the veterans that we had this morning that served, we're all honored to be here and to just welcome the ship in and honor the men who were on the ship. And there was actually 38 men that actually perished on this ship in the Battle of Okinawa. So just we're here to honor them and just thank you, Thomasy, for putting this project on. Thank you for inviting us here. Thank you, Parish President, for us, being here also. And we just can't thank y'all enough. And we're honored to be here. And thank y'all again.
And again, I want to thank them for making the time and their service also. And so, I'm a firm believer you can't know where you're going until you know where you've been. And you can't get more historic than what we're standing in front of right here. And so, be on the lookout for some things coming out, some opportunities for some things maybe going on with this ship and the project and everything. So, and I want to thank everybody for making the time. I want to thank again Thomasy for bringing some diversification to our economy right here in our own backyard, the Port of Terrebonne, and everybody that's helped us get here to this opportunity. So that being said, I want to say God bless Terrebonne Parish, God bless the state of Louisiana, and God bless the United States. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. More behind Thomasy Shipyards here in Houma, Louisiana. A great day, and this is a big deal. We'll be right back. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. What a historic day here in Terrebonne Parish. You don't see this often. I don't know if I've ever seen it in our 40 years with HTV, but it's quite a scene here back at Thomasy. And Mr. Parish President, that's pretty impressive when you're right up on that ship. I thought it was smaller, but it's pretty big. How long is it?
I want to say it's like 370 if I'm not mistaken. And the most impressive thing to me is to look at the size of this ship and to understand this thing when I think it was 37 knots, 45 miles an hour, this thing you would travel. So when you look at, and I wanted to say this earlier, when you look at what represents America, you look at apple pie, you look at baseball, you look at destroyers, like that's something that really solidifies our strength as a nation and as a military, and then the pride, and then, everything that's been done for those that have all served. Understanding that some men died on this ship was the first time I understood that also. And so we're not the country we are, we're not where we are, if not for the people that have served before us. And luckily we have some of those people on our council and in our workforce and in our parish.
And Danny, Councilman Babbitt, we were talking before, and if your father-in-law and my dad were here and buddying up again, they would be standing right over there pretty impressed.
They would really enjoy this, Martin. This is just a good day for this area. We can't ever forget about our veterans, okay? And the World War II, the museum that we have here in Houma, this is all things that our younger generation need to come take a look at and go to on a regular basis, because we can't forget about the past.
Yeah. And Carly, being a veteran yourself, this got to hit you a little bit in the heart to see something like this right in your backyard.
Yes, it does. I'm a Navy man, so to look at the of some other folk that, when Jason said about 300 feet, my ship was 602 feet long. There are some ships that are 1,500 feet, but to actually to look at this ship back here and to have the pride as an American serving in the Vietnam era, it means a lot, because people don't really know what goes on those ships, tight spaces, adverse conditions, be ready at all times, you know, so I'm appreciative of it, the refurbishment of it. You know, you can't bring back those people that lost their lives, but then to put forth the effort to have our militaries taken care of, this is very, very important in our advancement in the future.
Yeah. And Noah, let me talk about what this brings to the parish as far as the economy. I mean, they don't just bring it down. Things like this don't happen for free. You got us a lot of work that goes into this, but that means jobs, doesn't it?
That's right. This is a great opportunity, Martin, to prove our industry, to prove our capabilities down here in Houma. I'm very proud of where I'm from, and that's because we have a lot of hardworking and really capable people and companies. And what a great opportunity to showcase that while doing our American duty to restore this beautiful vessel.
Yeah. And Beryl, look, this used to be in your backyard in Baton Rouge when you went to Baton Rouge. Now it's really in your backyard. So from a state perspective, what can you tell us? And things like this, it's good to see things like this, and it looked pretty impressive coming down the Houma Ave.
Yes, I do feel like there's an empty spot in the backyard in Baton Rouge right now, but I know that this ship is in good hands here, and I've had the opportunity to tour several times. I brought my children when they were little. I've gone more recently. I really appreciated when they put the air conditioning in for the sake of those tours during the summer, but for me, this ship represents a connection of the generations. My dad was a Navyman, and he served right as the Cuban Missile Crisis was brewing years ago. And so when I first got the opportunity to tour this ship, I recognized some of the sacrifices that our military men make, because I look inside these ships and I see that the sleeping quarters, for example, they're made for someone my size. My daddy wasn't my size, and so it's amazing to me the amount of work that can be done in battle, especially when your living quarters, your surroundings are not convenient, they're not comfortable. And so I believe that this ship will go on to connect the generations. It's a part of history. We want to learn. We don't want to forget the lessons we learned from history. And I'm very excited that it's right here in Terrebonne, where I can come, when we finally get out of session, I can come and check on it from time to time.
There you go. And John, I know you're looking at this ship, and I know you're a logistical kind of person, and you're dealing with HVAC all the time and different things. How did they get everything into that ship?
You know, Martin, it's amazing the engineering that went into these battleships, these destroyers. It's just unbelievable. You know, like Beryl said, we've toured this one, and I'm always looking at the inner parts of it to see how they were able to accomplish the things. If engineers of today can go back and study the engineering of the times, they didn't have all the computers. You know, they were working with slide rules and hand calculations and all those sorts of things, but they've done some really miraculous things, because these ships were the class of the time, and the U.S. military today is still the class of the times, and we don't ever want to lose that. And you know, like Beryl said, we want to connect the generations. We want them to come out. I love history. I love studying where we've been so we can see where we're going, and maybe not make as many mistakes as may have been made in the past, and we continue to learn from the history. And I think students of today really need to take more part in looking at the past and the true history of the American culture. I'm excited to know that they're restoring the ship to its status of World War II, where it has the quarters of the African American people that served on this ship, because at the time they were segregated. Yeah. And I think that's an important part, so that when people come and tour this ship, they can see the fullness of what was going on. And like I said earlier, the size as well. It's a lot larger standing here next to it, but when you get down into the bowels of it, it was really, even somebody my size has to duck through a lot of things to get in there, and the sacrifices that the people that served on this ship made is just amazing when you think about it. We've gotten so accustomed to air conditioning, like you say, HVAC stuff. You look at the photos, and those guys were just sweating it out, and that's probably why they were so thin. But again, it's exciting for the Houma area to have this ship in our own backyard, and congratulations again to Thomasy for winning the confidence to be able to take on a project like this.
All right, let me close it to Parish President. Are you going to make a call to the superintendent of schools? John just brought up a good point, Barrel too. This would be a good tour for the students, but I don't know if they can they go on board while they're working on it?
Well, like I said, I understand they're looking at some opportunities for some things, and that'll be coming out in the future. So keep an eye out, but at a minimum, like I said, this is getting national attention, and just proud to have this in our backyard with our hardworking people doing what we do every day to make Terrebonne Parish and our state and our country better.
You said this ship was built in 6 months?
6 months. When the museum told me that, you're lying. And I looked it up. 6 months. From keel laying to sailing. 6 months.
I guess in wartime, things get done a lot quicker, right?
Yeah, and it was women too, so there wasn't any bickering going on. They were down there fighting, working. So
I had a couple of aunts that were welders and did all kind of things, building ships, especially the Higgins boats in New Orleans. But what does this mean? That this is right behind y'all's shop here in Houma, here at Thomasy. It's a pretty big deal.
Oh, it's an amazing deal for us. I mean, it's like I was saying a while ago. It's just the history behind the ship, and the history of Houma and Terrebonne Parish in World War II with the air base over there and the blimps and everything. And this just kind of bringing it back home. And when you think about the young men that were on the ship, that's probably what just amazes me the most. Now, I've got a son who'll be 20 next month. And these were 17, 18, 19-year-old kids who and some of them were probably younger than that who lied about their age to go fight for our country. And it's amazing what these kids did. So there was.
My dad was in the Navy at 17. They let him go at 17, but he would be amazed if he was still here today. How many guys are you going to have working on this?
We'll probably
and women.
We'll probably when it's ramped up, we'll probably be as many as 60 people on it. Between the different crafts, between the blasters, the painters, the welders, the fitters, the electricians. There'll be some outside machinists doing some work on it, and then of course our subcontractors that'll come in. Bella Contractors is a QSM QP1 qualified company, and the owner of that company actually spent trips on this thing as a kid, sleeping on it. So he's just pumped. He's thrilled to be a part of this thing. He's actually going to be streaming a camera. Once we get back to the repair yard, he's going to put a live camera on, just kind of streaming it as it goes on.
I'd love to get copies of that.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, will the engine still work, or are they going to take it out by tug?
No, it'll go back and forth by tug. It was part of when they tied it up and donated to the museum. It'd never be fired up again.
Okay. All right.
So
thank y'all very much, and we'll be checking in with you time to time to get a look at it.
Oh yeah, I'll be there Tuesday night with David.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.